The challenge of Altair. The purple skies of Altair shimmered with electrical storms as thousands gathered in the great arena. Commander Rena stood tall in the center, her skin a deep violet hue that caught the light of the 3 moons overhead. The crowd chanted her name in rhythmic pulses that seemed to shake the very ground. Commander Rena, undefeated champion of the Altarian Guard, announced the Royal Herald, his voice carrying across the vast space. 27 challengers have fallen before her might, none worthy to claim victory or her allegiance. Rena raised her ceremonial staff, its crystal tip glowing with stored energy. Her royal armor, crafted from the metals of conquered worlds, reflected the arena lights in dazzling patterns. She had never known defeat, never bowed to any being across the 7 systems. "I will serve only one who proves stronger than I," she called out, her voice firm and proud. "Such is our way, such is our honor." The crowd roared in agreement. This was more than tradition. It was the foundation of Altarian society. Strength commanded respect, and respect commanded loyalty. The massive gates opposite her position hissed open, revealing a figure that silenced the crowd immediately. A human male walked forward, dressed not in battle armor but in simple dark clothing that seemed more suited to a laboratory than a combat arena. He carried a single short staff and wore an expression of calm determination. "Dr. Aiden Chen of Earth Research Coalition," he announced himself, his voice surprisingly steady. "I have come for the trial." Laughter erupted from all sides. The royal court seated in elevated platforms could barely contain their amusement. Even King Arjax, Rena's father, smiled with derision. "You challenge my daughter, human?" he called down. "Do you understand our laws? Victory means her service, defeat means your death." Dr. Chen nodded once. "I understand completely." "Your Highness," Rena circled the human slowly, her staff twirling effortlessly between her fingers. "You seem more scholar than warrior," she said with undisguised contempt. "What brings a scientist to our combat arena?" "Necessity," he replied simply, his dark eyes never leaving hers. "Some battles can't be won in laboratories." The drums began to pound, signaling the start of combat. Rena moved first, her body a blur of practiced motion. Her staff cut through the air with deadly precision. Yet somehow the human evaded the strike with unexpected agility. "You'll need to do better than that," she taunted, recovering quickly for another attack. Dr. Chen didn't respond with words. Instead, he watched her movements carefully, studying rather than engaging. This only fueled Rena's irritation. She attacked again, each strike more forceful than the last. "Fight back," she demanded, her violet skin flushing darker with exertion. "I'm learning," he replied calmly, sidestepping another powerful blow. "There's more to combat than brute strength. Commander." The crowd grew restless as the human continued his defensive strategy. They had come to see blood, to witness the glory of their champion. Instead, they watched as the mysterious Dr. Chen gradually matched Rena's rhythm, anticipating her attacks with growing confidence. King Arjax leaned forward on his throne. "Finish this display, daughter," he commanded. "Show him what Altarian warriors truly are." Rena's eyes narrowed. "With pleasure, father," she whispered, preparing her final assault. Battle of Wills. Rena launched herself forward with incredible speed, her staff becoming a violet blur as it sliced through the air. Dr. Chen barely managed to dodge, the weapon passing so close it left a faint scratch across his chest. "Is that all Earth has to offer?" she taunted, circling him predatorily. "No wonder your people remain confined to your small corner of the galaxy, Doctor." Chen's expression remained unchanged as he adjusted his stance. "We have different strengths," he replied, his voice calm despite the thin line of blood now visible through his torn shirt. The crowd roared for Rena to finish him, their voices merging into a single demanding cry. King Arjax watched with growing impatience from his elevated throne. "End this farce, daughter," he called. "The human wastes our sacred traditions." Rena nodded and attacked again, this time with a complex series of strikes designed to overwhelm any defense. But something unexpected happened. Dr. Chen's movements changed, becoming fluid and precise. He didn't just evade. He redirected her own force against her. With a move too quick for most of the audience to follow, he twisted his staff beneath hers and leveraged her momentum. Rena felt herself suddenly airborne, then crashing hard against the arena floor. The impact knocked the breath from her lungs. Stunned silence fell over the arena. "Impossible," whispered a royal advisor to the king. Rena rose quickly, fury in her eyes a lucky counter. She growled, "It won't happen again," but it did happen again, and again. Dr. Chen moved with calculated efficiency, each motion purposeful and measured. He wasn't stronger, but he was smarter, using her aggression against her. After the 5th time Rena found herself thrown to the ground, she paused, breathing heavily. "What are you?" she demanded. Dr. Chen lowered his staff slightly. "Someone who studied your combat techniques for 3 years before coming here," he said. "I knew I couldn't match your strength, so I found another way." Rena attacked again, determined to prove him wrong. This time she feinted left before striking right, a move that had never failed her. Yet somehow Chen anticipated even this, catching her staff with his own and using her momentum to send her sprawling once more. When she rose, he stood over her, staff positioned at her throat, the traditional symbol of victory in Altarian combat. "Yield," he said quietly. The crowd fell completely silent. No one had ever seen Commander Rena in such a position. She stared up at him, violet eyes blazing with defiance. "Never," she hissed, sweeping her leg to knock him off balance. He jumped her attack and stepped back. "Your pride will destroy your people if you let it," he said, loud enough for those nearest to hear. "I didn't come here to humiliate you." "Then why did you come?" she demanded, rising to her feet again. "Because Altair is in danger," he replied, "and I need your help to save it." Rena laughed bitterly. "A convenient excuse for your challenge." "Look beyond your anger, Commander," he said, lowering his weapon slightly. "The Void Collective approaches your system. I've tracked their movements across 3 sectors." The name sent murmurs through the crowd. Even King Arjax leaned forward with sudden interest. "You lie." Rena spat. "The Void Collective is a myth, a story to frighten children." "Then explain the anomalies in your outer planetary defense grid, Dr. Chen countered. "The communication disruptions, the missing patrol ships." Rena faltered slightly. How could he know about those classified incidents? Before she could respond, Dr. Chen moved with lightning speed, disarming her completely and sweeping her legs from under her. This time, when she fell, he pinned her firmly, his staff pressed against her throat. "By your laws, I've won," he said quietly. "Will you honor your word, Commander Rena?" The arena remained deathly silent as everyone awaited her response. Unexpected alliance. The Royal Council chamber echoed with angry voices as King Arjax pounded his fist against the ornate table. "This is preposterous," he roared. "My daughter will not serve an Earth scientist." Rena stood silently beside Dr. Chen, her posture rigid with barely controlled fury. The council members argued loudly among themselves, some demanding the challenge be nullified, others insisting tradition must be honored. "The law is clear," spoke Advisor Kai, the oldest member. Of the council, Commander Rena made her vow before all Altair. To break it would dishonor the royal house. Dr. Chen stepped forward. "I don't seek a servant," he said firmly. "I seek an ally. The Void Collective is real and approaching your system." He activated a small device that projected star charts into the chamber's center. The display showed a dark mass moving steadily through neighboring systems. "These are readings from research outposts across 3 sectors," he explained. "Something is consuming planets, leaving nothing but empty husks." Rena studied the projection, her scientific training recognizing patterns that couldn't be dismissed. "And you believe this? Collective will reach Altair next?" "Within 30 days. Chen nodded. "They're drawn to civilizations with advanced energy signatures. Your planetary defense system is practically a beacon." King Arjax scoffed. "Even if this threat exists, why would Earth send one man? Where are your fleets?" "Earth doesn't believe the threat is real," Chen admitted. "I came alone because I couldn't convince my superiors." "So you sought me," Rena said quietly, understanding dawning. You knew my expertise in both combat and xenobiology would help substantiate your claims. Chen's eyes met hers. I needed someone both the military and scientific community would listen to. For the first time, Rena truly looked at the human. His features were strong but tired, his eyes carrying the weight of someone who had seen too much. Despite her wounded pride, she recognized the truth in his words. The challenge was necessary, she realized aloud. You needed my oath to ensure I would listen? Yes, he admitted, though I didn't expect the ritual combat to be quite so intense. A ghost of a smile touched Rena's lips before she could suppress it. You fought well for a scientist. I had excellent motivation, he replied, the corner of his mouth lifting slightly. Survival tends to focus one's efforts. Something shifted between them in that moment, a small spark of mutual respect amid the tension. Rena turned to her father. I will honor my oath, she declared, and investigate this threat with Dr. Chen. Before the king could protest, she continued, if he speaks falsely, I will return and accept whatever punishment you deem appropriate. If he speaks truth, our entire world may depend on this alliance. The council chamber erupted again in arguments, but Rena had made her decision. She gestured for Chen to follow her to the royal laboratory complex. As they walked through the massive, crystalline hallways, Chen spoke quietly. Thank you for believing me. I don't believe you yet, she corrected, but I believe in evidence, and you've presented enough to warrant investigation. In the laboratory, Rena accessed the classified defense system logs. The anomalies were exactly as Chen had described. Unexplained energy fluctuations, communications blackouts, missing patrol ships. How did you know about these incidents? She asked suspiciously. Because they match the pattern I've observed elsewhere, he replied, standing close enough that she could detect his unfamiliar but not unpleasant human scent. First come the disruptions, then the shadows between stars, then nothing. Something in his voice made her look up. Their eyes met, and Rena was surprised by the intensity she found there. You've seen it happen, she realized. You've witnessed a world fall. Chen nodded once, pain flashing across his features. My research colony on Proxima B, 300 people. Gone in hours. Rena felt an unexpected surge of sympathy. And no one believed you. No, he said quietly. No one but you, apparently. She turned back to her console, uncomfortable with the strange warmth spreading through her. Just don't mistake professional curiosity for belief, Dr. Chen. But even as she spoke, Rena knew something had changed. This human had defeated her in combat, challenged her assumptions, and now stood beside her as they faced a threat greater than either of them alone. Despite herself, she was beginning to trust him. Shadows between stars. Darkness crept through the outer defenses of Altair as Rena and Dr. Chen worked tirelessly in her private laboratory. 3 weeks had passed since their combat, and evidence of the Void Collective's approach mounted daily. Another outpost went silent, Rena reported, her violet skin pale with exhaustion. That makes 5. Chen nodded grimly, dark circles under his eyes. The pattern is accelerating. We have less time than I thought. They had grown closer through their shared work, boundaries softening as days blurred into nights. When their hands accidentally touched over shared equipment, neither pulled away immediately. The council still won't order a full evacuation, Rena said bitterly. My father believes our defenses are sufficient. Pride, Chen murmured, just as I feared. A sudden alarm blared through the laboratory. Security screen showed royal guards approaching. What's happening? Chen demanded. Advisor Kai's voice came through the communication system. Treason, he announced. Dr. Chen is hereby arrested for sabotage and espionage against Altair. Rena's eyes widened. This makes no sense. It makes perfect sense if someone doesn't want us to prepare for the collective. Chen replied urgently. Someone's been compromised, making a swift decision. Rena grabbed his arm. Come with me, she commanded, leading him through a hidden passage behind her research station. As they fled through maintenance tunnels, Chen asked, Why are you helping me? Your oath was fulfilled weeks ago. Rena paused, looking at him in the dim emergency lighting. Because you were right, she admitted, about everything. Their faces were close in the narrow passage. Without thinking, she touched his cheek. And because I believe in you, Aiden. His name on her lips changed something between them. When he kissed her, it felt like worlds colliding, unexpected and inevitable, hearts unbound. The command deck of Altair's flagship hummed with energy as Rena and Dr. Chen directed the evacuation fleet. 3 days had passed since their escape from the palace. The last transports are away, reported Sarah, Rena's most loyal lieutenant, but the Void ships have breached the outer defense ring. On the main screen, darkness spread across their star system, not ships in the conventional sense, but tiers in reality itself. We've saved over 80% of the population, Chen said, squeezing Rena's hand. That's more than any other world has managed. King Arjax appeared on a communication channel. His face haggard. You were right, daughter, he admitted. The Void is real. Advisor Kai was changed somehow. He tried to prevent our preparations. We know, Father, Rena replied softly. Join the evacuation fleet. We'll hold them back. How? The king demanded. Chen activated a holographic display showing a complex device. By creating a quantum collapse at the system's edge, he explained. It won't destroy the collective, but it will seal this gateway between stars. A suicide mission, the king realized. A necessary one, Rena corrected. We'll use the automated return shuttle. After the king's reluctant farewell, Rena turned to Chen in their moment of privacy. Words seemed inadequate as the darkness approached. I never imagined my oath would lead to this, she whispered to us. Chen smiled, tracing the contours of her violet face. Sometimes the universe knows better than we do. As they prepared the quantum device, their movements synchronized perfectly, a dance between two people who had found harmony in chaos. Ready? He asked as they boarded the small ship that would take them to the collapse point. With you? Rena replied, her eyes meeting his always. The ship launched toward the edge of darkness, carrying 2 warriors from different worlds but bound by the same purpose, and by something neither had expected to find among the shadows between stars. As they activated the quantum collapse, brilliant light surrounded them. In that moment of blinding radiance, they held each other close. No longer commander and scientist, no longer Altarian and human, but simply 2 hearts unbound by the limitations of their worlds. Against all odds, the automated return shuttle protected them from the worst of the collapse. Though injured, they survived to see the evacuation fleet safely away, and to begin writing a new chapter together among distant stars.